You know we're gonna go on this Wednesday, April 2nd special. Dragon versus Trump, Dragon versus Trump, Dragon versus Trump. From my neighborhood, turn your heads left or right, and I see that there's some of that work being done there. Construction, so I'm gonna have to take the other territory. Turn your heads left or right before you cross the streets here from my neighborhood. NDG, Montreal, Hawk Island, NDG. We're gonna get it to the XYZ, we're gonna get it to the XYZ. That's it, that's all for the XYZ, and that's it for the X. And the love for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and the grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production, distribution of food, and that's what they gotta be doing with that, you know. So we gotta get on that rock and roll, and get it on that rock and roll for the XYZ, and we're gonna get it to the XYZ. Construction workers. Anyways, then we're gonna go. We got a $5 here deal if you want to go, and I just want to get it on the go, and that's how we gotta get it on the XYZ, you know. So it's something which we gotta do, and something which we gotta get on transverse side to get it on the love, and gotta put my gloves because it's in the morning, and it's a little bit on that cold side. Still cold. My nose dripped during the weekend. Last weekend is Wednesday today, but I never had that drip so much before, and I'm still fighting it off. I said I'm gonna fight it off the best way I know. Although I gotta thank my anonymous friend for some ginger. When I get back home, I'm gonna make myself a hot defense. Special ginger drink, I guess. So I'm just gonna cross on the other side way here, be prudent, because got a little bit of that sunlight, and put the gloves on. It's a bit on the chilly side, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, working out. Training, exercise, as it is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. And we got to get it on the click, we got to get it on the left, on the right, on the circle, around the bar with prudence, and we got to get it for the LOV, and that's what we got to get doing for that drill, you know. And here we are for security service and defense, the SSD principle, calling all willingly loving, pledge your legions for the Dragon Army, second chances, redemption, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and still marking, celebrating 5 years. 5 years since I had COVID between February 2020 and March 2020, but it's that 2nd of April now, of course, and I still marking 5 years. 5 years since I survived COVID. Was really hit hard by COVID. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. I know when I say it was like death, pestilence, and disease, it sounds like a hardcore death trash metal rock and roll song, but that's how I really felt. So I survived, and you see there they got that double flag, Canada here, the true north, strong and free. We got to add some of that LOV because strength and freedom is not enough, and I always carry my flag because I got a Canada maple leaf tatted up right here on the right arm, so I always have my flag on me. And I don't know, I must have had it for decades because my memory gets that raw retrograde amnesia. I got blackouts of memory, you know. And I remember moving from a moldy place. It was lots of whitish type of snow-like mold, and reddish and black mold and green mold type of mold, different color mold, MOLD. And I remember moving, was depressed, suicidal, and cross Canada, coast to coast, 2017 in August. August went to Vancouver, British Columbia, and then September hit it for Halifax. And of course I got on that hit in Canada, coast to coast, and that event really changed my whole life. I started working out, training, exercising after that, and before that I was depressed and suicidal, and that event made me have a revelation, and I established a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians, a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians. Strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians. You gotta check that platform, vote Dragon, the king is absent. Time for the Republic, ain't no way. I'm gonna vote because the Pledge of Allegiance is gonna be by any Prime Minister, is gonna be to the King of England and his heirs, and That gotta go. It's time for the Republic. It's time for the fusion via public-private partnership, the DRT, the implementation of my Trinity of theories, democratic Republican centrism, the collective North American civilizational complex. For the collective North and South is we're North, my brothers and sisters in the South is 50 states, and you know, if there was ever an invasion from China or from Russia, I would be running to the border to SAV, you know, that's what it is with that. So that's what we gotta get doing on the love, you know. So here it is, you know, and the beautiful sun, you know. So that's how we gotta get doing on the love side of things, and that's my Publik King the Sun. And today I carpe diem it every day, but I have hope for tomorrow. So you know where I'm heading, to my second home, heading towards my second home, the Mount Royal. So gotta spit a little bit on the ground, you know. Pardon my spitting, but I checked that there's no citizens, so that'd be, you know, a little bit on the grossing out type of situation, because I'm always aware when I'm in the public I have added responsibilities, duties, and obligations which are not in the same if I would have stayed in my underground dragon's lair. Still live on the ground, but I used to live in a further basement deeper, and I remember being depressed, suicidal, and moved, and that's what, you know. After that, I kind of started working out a lot, lost between 80 and 93 pounds, and survived COVID in 2019. I've actually predicted the geopolitical situation that's happening, transpiring now. I have predicted it back, of course, in 2019, and I am an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and I take great pride in my work, you know. I take great pride in my work as an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. I'm gonna go check a little bit of those rocks over there, see how they did it. I love how it is. It's a bit on the artistic side, a little bit on the artistic side here. Not autistic, though. I am autistic. I have Asperger's, you know, HFA, high functioning autism. But here I like how they are, you know, how they are. So here we gotta assess the safety. It's pretty safe. Well, it's a school. The rocks like that are pretty safe, you know. It's just they're hard. They are not to be like. They're pretty safe. They're not. There's no danger there. But it just makes me think, because I'm a mystic. I believe in reincarnations, and it makes me think of the roads that I built as a farmer, as a soldier in the legions of Rome, priestess of the goddess, and as involved with building temples for the goddess Geodds, which I created my surviving COVID, surviving being attacked by surprise a few years ago, and living on all the scars to the goddess Geodds, and I will to build on the Canadian-US border. I will to build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Geodds Temple. That's what I will to build on the Canadian-US border, parallel, next to complementary to the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, aka the Coliseum of the free, the brave, and the loving, and the strong, I guess, because here the true north, strong and free is not enough. We gotta have some love, you know, some love and justice with that, you know. It's not just enough strength and freedom, eh? We gotta add some complementary compositions to the strength factor, definitely. So that's what we're gonna be building. And thank you, construction workers. Gotta credit some feet washing, some massages on the side. Gonna credit some feet washing, some washes on the side, and some of those washing, some of those kisses, some of those good stuff, because it's that SSD, Principal Security Service and Defense for the Dragon Army. Pledge your legions. Let's constitute this new institution for the 21st century to work on those principles and principium and build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, Geodds for the DGA Dancing Goddess Army, and of course build the North American Imperial People's Coliseum. The North American People's Coliseum were to be 11 times, and 11 times bigger than, of course, the Hardball Ball, where the Hardball Ball was fought, and where, of course, not only the Hardball Ball was fought, but where the Hardball Ball is, of course, also known as the not just the Hardball Ball. Many other Super Bowls were before that, but of course one of them was the Hardball Ball, aka the Blackout Ball, where my 49ers lost. And you know, yesterday's video, you see that I lost my 49er hat, and that's what it is with the go. And it's the Coliseum Sports Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's called the the Caesar Superdome now. Caesar Superdome has changed names several times. It was the Mercedes-Benz. So we're going to build on the Canadian-US border a Coliseum which is going to be 11 times bigger than that Sports Coliseum, 11 times bigger than that Sports Coliseum. So that's what we're going to be building. To have sportis in perpetuitis. Sportis in perpetuitis, to have sportis in perpetuitis. Sportis in perpetuitis. To have sports in perpetuitis, you know. That's what we're going to go having with that. And sportis in perpetuitis, meaning there's going to be sports in perpetuity. Sports in perpetuity. So that's what we're going to be doing. Sports in perpetuity. 24/7 for the colleges, both Canada and United States fused. Gonna get rid of the border. Time for the border to go best if we focus on the principles of defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, ports and the airports, ports, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, ports and the airports. And I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, and I'm gonna do some coffee sessions because now it's an emergency. And of course, I have been and will challenge Donald Trump to a boxing match ever since 2018 when he first imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel. Look at those beautiful black crows. I love crows and I love hawks. And I think they love me too, but I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit. Huh? Gotta kissy. Kiss the black and kiss the white and do the rainbow. Kiss the black and kiss the white and do the rainbow dance. I always rock and roll. Rock and roll is another of my special interest in as an asp, you know. That's my holy trinity. And our brain is just wired in such a way that we're different and neurodivergent because it's not a mental illness. So we are super focused, super dedicated, super concentrated whenever we're involved in doing those special interests. So those special interests can be different for different people. For me, it's geopolitics 24/7. Sports and fitness, dancing is my favorite sport. Sports and fitness, dancing is my favorite sport. And of course, rock and roll. Rock and roll on the road for the farmers, for the butchers, for the truckers, for the daycare workers. Always for the public workers, and the butchers, and the nurses, and the doctors, and the truckers. For to go up in the service, so to go up in the service. Service, that's a lot so you can see this. That's a lot so you can laud it. That's a lot so you see it. Red. My favorite color, that's what I said. And calling for the implementation of my Trinity of theories. The Trinity of theories, of course, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, the DRT, Detrol Fusion Theory, and the Democratic Fusion Theory, the DFT, Democratic Fusion Theory, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, and of course the Democratic Fusion Theory for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange, which are my holy trinity. And of course, I gotta give some salutation to the farmers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the truckers on the road across the North American Collective. I imagine them doing now a little bit of that rock and roll on the roads. Don't swing too much of those. Gotta be prudent on the highways. Prudent, safety, just like me and you. I now have to be a little bit on the extra prudent side of that. So being that I'm extra prudent to be on the prudent side of things, you know, that's what I gotta get on the safety, because now I'm in the public, you know. So I'm in the public, so I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, you know. Obligations, duties, and responsibilities which I don't have under the normal circumstances of life. I do not have, you know. I do not have under the normal circumstances of life. I don't have, you know, the same ones. Just like everybody else. Now I gotta be in concordium in the public. You know, I gotta just march on the right and be aware of my difference, because I'm different. I'm neurodivergent. I'm part of this small fraction of the population minority of less than 1%, less than half of a percent, 0.44% in compared to the majority who are 99.56%. So being that I'm neurodivergent, not mentally ill, it's not a mental illness. The Asperger brain is just made different. So our brains are just made different. There's this divergence in the brain composition. So we have certain rituals, daily routines and habits and manners of speaking and interaction and communication which can seem weird, can seem odd, can seem strange. Those are the words which kind of describe myself as an individual ASPI, part of the greater community of neurodivergence, who are Aspies who have and live with Asperger's. So being that I have Asperger's, is so many things that I don't fully understand. Not that in the understanding in the sense that certain things come, it's hard for us to know fully, to implement it. For example, social communication, when to speak, when not to speak. Personal space can be a problem. We can get, it's always a constant, have to work on it. For example, an Aspie might get very close by 2 inches, 3 inches to the face of somebody, so close to the person that she's speaking with, that person might feel a little bit a sense of intimidation or concern concern for the safety, things of that nature, you know. So I always have to be mindful, and often in the past months, I've been taking a step back. You know. So having taken a step back, there's that. Oh, maybe, I don't know. So I have to take a step back. The step back, for example, or things of that nature, of the social nature, is very hard. And unfortunately, there's high unemployment rates among Aspies. But Asperger's, we can be very good and super good and excellent at those things which are known to be our special interests, which are narrow special interest, usually 1, 2, or 3. Me is the Holy Trinity geopolitics, 24/7, and I take pride as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist or theoretical analyst that I have predicted what's happening now, and I have proof. I have it online, the video dating from November 2019, just before I had COVID, that before I was hit by COVID. It was like death versus the disease, and of course I had survived it. I've survived it, you know. Had survived it. So being that I survived the COVID, I don't know what caused COVID, but I know I had made a workout training program system to go hand in hand with such a scenario. Can I turn my head left or right? With such a scenario of which we now have the worldwide, not geopolitical, not just the tariff war. I'm speaking about the global conflicts which have recommenced and re-intensified. And in the latest 48 hours, I've been, of course, on the analytical side and theorizing about China's drills again, and we've seen that in the past 5 years China has intensified the drills to Taiwan, in relation to Taiwan. But again, Taiwan is known as the ROC, Republic of China, while mainland China is known as the People's Republic of China. So these are counterpositions and distinctions of counterpoints which have to be analyzed, because there's a new conflict on the horizon. It's possible that on the 7th of April, the China, People's Republic of China, decides to use force, that is military force, armed force, lethal force, to invade Taiwan, the Republic of China. That is a conflict which was not fully resolved from the 20th century, and that was just my premise. One of my main fundamental premises, although the level of analysis was in depth, was that due to the fact that many nation-state civilizations were not able to fully resolve their conflicts from the 20th century, these conflicts are going to restart. So that's what's happening in the Middle East. Israel-Hamas, Israel-Palestine, Israel-Hezbollah, the Israeli-Arab conflict, if you want to put it into the greater geopolitical context, right? But nonetheless, also Russia-Ukraine. As much as I know the ideologies, the histories, and I do geopolitics 24/7, it's mainly 20th century and 21st, because I do it on the daily basis. I'm a Quebecer, Canadian, North American, because I'm not really on the ground with 300 men and women armed and soldiered up and Dragonomic contingent of 300 to beat the explorer and to check the terrain and to do an assessment for myself. So I'm speaking from, of course, certain positions, of which, of course, are always the positions which are on the parallel side of things, you know, on the parallel side of things. So there's many things I don't know fully, but I do know that I predicted the international conflagration, which is happening now, and which, of course, has been happening for a few times, you know? Has been happening for a while. Anyways, I'm just going to continue going on the side there. This is my old neighborhood. Nothing that I will to go back to, but See, I saw somebody wearing red there. Nothing that I will to go back to, but that's how we're gonna get drilling and just gonna come here. Here's kind of where my old neighborhood starts, but back to geopolitics. I'm gonna come back as I go back and forth. Red helicopter, chopper. There's a red helicopter chopper, and got a tank. Red and green parallel, red and green. Providential. The color of the DGA. Dancing Goddess Army, which I'm calling for the creation, and the Dragon Army red. That's what I'm calling for the formation. I just saw a red helicopter chopper, and my mind, of course, because I am me, you have to understand that since 2019, October, November, I have been in a World War III type of mode, type of being as a citizen in a World War III. So I have actually take great pride, and I have, of course, created an international. I have created, of course, the workout training program system, which I have created back in 2019. So having created the workout training program known as the General War Integrated Whole Body Training System, and I take great pride. Although I suffered, struggled, and I had many employments, many jobs during COVID with the elderly at the warehouse, during COVID at the warehouse and with the elderly, and lots of jobs. And here just passing through my own neighborhood because I want to go to the mountain by another side, but nothing that I will to go to, and that's what it is. What here is going to be, somebody broke down the whole thing here. What was it here? Here in my own neighborhood anyways, whatever they're going to build, I guess, build the social housing, but it's the construction workers. They got to salute and send some LOVs and when I got rock and roll, not just that, blah, blah, blah. Put in some feet washing, kisses and massages. Please, Wall Street, finance the massage therapy session for the public workers. Finance some massage therapy sessions for the public workers. Finance some massage therapy sessions for the public workers. Finance some massage therapy sessions for the public workers. Wall Street, millionaires, and I'm gonna have to take a bath. I'm gonna have to take a bath myself, so I have to take a bath. I'm gonna take a bath because I wish I will crave actually for a massage therapy session, because I've been working out on that fitness on the daily and overtime every time for more than 7 years now. I lost between 80 and 93 pounds, and I wish I could afford a massage therapy session. I'm financially stressed at the moment. I am financially stressed, but always looking for opportunity, business partnership, pledge your allegiance, our family, friends with benefits only from now on. Friends with benefits only. Thanks for understanding and consent, hygiene, but you got to be, if you want to love with yours truly, LOV, you want to love, well, you have to be 18, eh? Black, white, rainbow, black men, black women, white women, white men, in between, rainbow, whatever. Rainbow, black, white, men, women, you want to come LOV, but yeah, you're going to get carded, just like buying liquor, going into a club, buying that legal cannabis weed, but marijuana, it's no, you're going to get carded. You got to be 18 for this one. Anyways, friends with benefits only, and Wall Street, billionaires, please finance the public workers, those who pick up the garbage, the compost, the recycling, the compost, the recycling, the garbage, the compost, the recycling, the garbage, those who pick up the compost, the recycling and the garbage. Finance them on massage therapy sessions. They deserve it, earn it more than yours truly, and the public nurses as well, you know. Public nurses as well, you know. The public nurses, and that's what they get, a little bit of that. And what is this? Somebody had left some bread there. Half a bread. Makes me think that no food waste, you know. It's gonna put it in a context of gonna check if it's good. Gonna check it and smell it at the top of the mountain. If not, I'm gonna compost it, because I don't know what date it was, if it doesn't have a date on it. But now I see it there, and I see that it would have fallen, you know. There would have been a security risk here, because imagine this was there, right? So imagine that. So do not leave stuff here, because this was not safe. So I took it for two purposes. One purpose was because food on the farmers and the bakers is very important. Food security starts with the farmer. So half of this bread is just, it kind of seems exactly half, 50%, exactly half, 50%, exactly half, 50%. So that's what it seems. It seems a little bit half, that 50%. So the wind could have blown it. If there's a wind and blows it on the car, if it blows and goes on the car there, the car can cause an accident. What if the car has 5 children in it? 5 children in it. So don't leave it here. Put it on the side if you want to leave it. Next time you know, and just a warning, you know. Friendly citizen warning. I am the people's police. We're gonna implement that 911 protocols. Everybody deserves second, third chances, and you know, second, third chances. And my brothers and sisters who lost their liberty for that rehabilitation, you know. And I got half a bread. It's not that fresh, but it might still be good. It might still be good for eating, you know. So this, after I inspected and imagined and know that I have been in a type of World War III scenario type of situation ever since, of course, for a long time myself, you know. I'm gonna put it in the backpack. Hold on, give me a second to put it up, and then I'm gonna continue my diatribes. Here we go. So like I said, I did I took the bread because I said maybe it's good to eat, half of it, 50%, for my selfish reasons. And second, for altruistic security reasons, because you know, that of course has to be done, has to be doing, and has to be getting on the go. And that's what it is with that, that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with the XYZ. So that's what it is with the love, you know. Gotta get it for the no, gotta get it for the LOVE, you know. So that's what it is, you know. So that's what it is on the XYZ. And I took it, of course, because also it would have been proper to take it from a Good Samaritan. Here we got the Good Samaritan law, and that's what it is with that. And that's how we gotta go on the XYZ on the go, you know. So because of course the bread would have been possible for it to fall, the bread of course would cause an accident. Potentially, in potentia, right? If it would have been windy, and of course the wind would have blown hard, and the bread would have fallen on somebody's car, somebody who's driving, you know, somebody who's driving faster. It could have been a a big truck, big truck. I'm speculating, but it's the possibility. The way it was left there, you saw there was a hole, right? There's a hole, so you could have went through that hole with powerful wind. Yesterday we had powerful wind. You have proof yesterday was powerful wind. That wind yesterday, I would have done yesterday there. It would have fallen there. If it would have fallen at the time under somebody, accidents happen. So just like yesterday, I lost my 49er hat. It was windy. It was windy. It was windy, you know. And it went on the side. So, but the bread there seemed to be half left by somebody who I guess decided that eating half, 50% was enough. So that's what we gotta get doing anyway. And of course, for selfish and altruistic, and they can be balanced. I'm not totally selfless. I'm not totally selfish. Totally selfish or totally selfless. Always try a little bit of each. Balance. I'm craving a massage therapy session. Any volunteers? Any volunteers? We can become massage service exchange buddies. For service and exchange buddies. For security, service, and defense is the Dragon Army Protocol. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, 21st century. Calling for the implementation of my theories, especially the DRT theory, lateral fusion theory, and the consequential creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institution. The Dancing Goddess Army, North American Integrated Dance League, and the DGA. That's the DGA and the Dragon Army, the North American Integrated Dance League, parallel to the Dragon Army, the North American Integrated Legion. Because it's best if we fuse Canada in a public-private partnership, democratic, republican, universal revolutionary centrism. My centrism is pro-North American centric because I'm a Quebecer, Canadian, North American. This is my home, and all who come to join us are the best possible to be becoming our family in the great North American collective. Our great family in the North American collective. The civilizational complex of North America is a new emergent civilizational complex which is not totally divorced but is distinct from Western civilization. Is not totally divorced but is distinct from Western civilization. There are distinctions. I just love evergreens. So tall, so majestic. 7 times my size. I'm a piece of dust. I love my BDSM switch. Don't need to spy on me. I got a tiny little androgynous dick little scar. Literally, I have scars all over the body, including my my privates. Yeah, I live with it. It doesn't impede me from living. All the scars. I think I got like 44. 44. I'm all visibly on the body. And way more probably internally. But I healed a lot and healing every day and playing on that defense. Hot. I play that D, If I can be of service security, just ask. I'm an androgynous pansexual. You get that 50-50, huh? You get that 50-50, huh? I'm a priestess, not a hoe. I'm a priestess, not a hoe, you know. Get it straight. Welcome to North America. We got big booties, big dicks, big booty, big dicks. Some gangsters and some fiends. And that militarized police. Welcome to North America. North America. Just gonna be switching the topic and getting out of the way because of the child, you know. So that they can have the whole safe space of their streets, and you know, to be mindful that certain lyrics and are not for certain ages, you know. So it's a give and take, eh? And that's what it is with life, and we make compromises in the civilizational context, and that's why I took a few steps, because it was better for me to do the citizen civilis publicus civitas duties in this certain circumstance, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing, you know. And That's why we gotta get on that go. And that's why we gotta get on the loving, Sometimes we just gotta do on the love, and we gotta be mindful for that, So it's something which we do, So that's what it is, That's what it is, That's what it is with that. And that's what we gotta get doing, So we gotta get on that go. On that go, and gotta get a little bit of that justice and second chances and redemption. Because my brothers and sisters, if you lose your liberty and get, liberty, freedom is new under the sun, Solomon. Liberty and freedom are new under the sun, Mr. Solomon. Liberty and freedom are new under the sun, Mr. Solomon. Thank the farmers for you eat. Thank the farmers for you eat. Thank the farmers, the food producers, truckers, bakers, butchers, bakers, truckers, bakers with it. For you eat. Gotta get that LOV. I'm broke. I don't have money. I'm broke, but I'm joyous, happy. I survived, and here I am, happy, joyous to go to my second home, and always on the go with that. And we gotta live sometimes with our scars and our hidden lusts, hidden fears. I've been in the open for years now. Part of the LGBTQ community, and I made a lot of friends at Pride parades, and I exchanged a lot of numbers, but it was like 2-3 times the calls, one meeting, and a date here and there, but no more callbacks, No more callbacks. No more callbacks, I guess. No more callbacks. No more callbacks. Well, Asphies were difficult, to be. It's a lot of misunderstandings about Asperger's. We can be very intense, concentrated, intense, concentrated, intense, and weird, weird, strange, and odd. So Asperger's, we have a lot of problems with having lots of friends and maintaining relationships because there's a lot of fear and stigma fear because of Asperger's being this neurological mental divergent condition, which can be very strange for people who to understand it and to even, but like the book that was gifted to me, which I read a few weeks and months ago fully a few times, focused more on some chapters than others because they were more important and contingent, but nonetheless the book was appreciating Asperger's syndrome, So appreciating Asperger's syndrome was something which was appreciating Asperger's syndrome. And there's some very good, we can be very good at our things which are our special interests. And those special interests usually are very narrow and very few. And again, in the world, in the kingdom of geopolitics, that is my kingdom, that is my arena. And again, I go back to my work in which I take great pride in as a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist and philosopher, because I'm a philosopher, a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, or theoretical analyst, however you want to put it, but who's also a philosopher. But they interplay each other, right? Because my philosophy has to be a bit integrated with my geopolitical theoretical analysis or geopolitical analytical theorizing on a daily basis. And of course I take great pride in my work, and I go back to 2019, October, November again, when I predicted what's happening now. So I predicted what's happening now back in 2019, in October, November 2019. So I have predicted that situation is going to change in the coming 7 years or something of that genre of a timeline from 2019, October, November, until the coming 5-7 years. It was a timeline like that. There's going to be an international conflagration. So basically, there's going to be another major international, global, worldwide, on the world, global, international scale conflict. Hey, that's new. I've never seen a Canada Post like this one, like this type of truck. I've never seen that's how the architecture of it. I mean the design, the architecture, this type of design. I always seen others, but I've never seen this type. The type. that was kind of sleek. I don't know, there's something nice about it, how it's made. That one, so many different ones. Maybe it's new. It's smaller in the dimension, but it kind of seems newer. So anyway, so that's what it is on the go with that, and that is for the go with the geopolitics. So again, I predicted a type of World War III scenario, a World War III type of situation. Can I go through there? Yeah, a World War III type of situation. And when I pass alleys like this, I remind myself of years and years and years in the past, because where my memory goes, you know, because then I got the blackout, retrograde amnesia and memory loss, and I can go back 9, 10, 11 years, then my memory kind of blacks out, and before I crossed Canada coast to coast in my suicidal depressive years, which were about maybe five years, because I haven't been depressed and suicidal since I crossed Canada coast to coast in 2017, in August and September, 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 you know. So I had a few years of being depressed and suicidal, and I moved from a moldy place, and here I am, joyous, financially stressed, struggling. But in the past years, I've accepted my Asperger's, my neurodivergence. So now I fully accept and integrate. You know, I'm gonna go on the other side because there's a lot of shadow here, and I gotta get as much sun as I need on the 2nd of April. So that's why I'm waiting to cross. And although I have priority, you gotta be that prudent side, because you never know. The citizen driver might press the accelerator. Citizen driver might press by mistake. You know, the accelerator instead of the brake, or the brakes might not function properly. So you gotta get it on that go. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Go construction workers, let's build a forgotten goddess temple in the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. We gotta get on those North American People's Imperial Coliseum build. And we gotta build a pyramid to get a house of the dragon, scarlet, crimson, scarlet, our shades of red. And we gotta build the Rainbow People's Palace. The Rainbow People's Palace on the Canadian-US border. That's what we gotta get building, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. That's what we gotta get doing on the go. You know? So that's what we gotta get doing on the LOV side of things, you know. And, we gotta get it for the lovebird side, you know. And we gotta get it for the butchers, bakers, and nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food. Gotta get it some loving, you know. And that's what I gotta get done on the love side of things, for the proposition where we are now. That we have the situational awareness where we are on the go with the LOV. And sometimes we gotta get it for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and the workers, you know. Gotta get it on the worker side of things, you know. Because the workers here, you give a raise, and let's get that North American Collective Workers' Party for the strikes. Workers' Party, North American Collective Workers' Party, you know. That's what it is with that. And gotta get it for the North American Collective Workers' Party with that, you know. So something which we gotta be thinking about: the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the firefighters. Getting on the go, man. Gotta give them some love, man. The firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, and they're struggling. Let's get that North American Collective Workers' Party. Canada, US, please give some charity, sign an executive order to raise the minimum wage. Let's rebuild the ghettos. The ghettos. Let's rebuild the ghettos of the North American Collective. See, there's still some snow there. There's still some snow. A pile of snow there. Wow, that's melt soon, man. It's gonna melt soon with that. And so we're gonna get doing, you know. all you're gonna get doing with that, you know. That's all you're gonna get. I'm just a piece of dust. Gotta get it for the sun and gotta get that salutation. Gotta watch it there when you cross. Gotta salute our firefighters. Gotta salute our firefighters. Salute our firefighters, eh? Finance the firefighters therapy sessions, massage therapy sessions. Gotta love our firefighters, love our butchers, love our nurses, love our doctors, love our grocery store clerks, you know. Those are the heroes, not Wall Street. Not Wall Street, the firefighters. Nothing against money, nothing against wealth. All for it, myself including. I love my wafers, love my wines, and finance the firefighters. A massage therapy session, So that's all we gotta get doing with that, and that's all we gotta get doing with the XYZ. That's all we gotta get doing on the LOV, and that's all we gotta get on the love side of things, you know. On the love side of things, you know. On the love side of things, you know. So that's what it is, you know. And that's what it is with that, you know. Anyways, so we gotta get it on the love, man. You know, it's on the drill. So firefighters, finance them. Millionaires, finance the firefighters. A massage therapy session, you know. Give them a little bit of money to get a massage, you know. Get a massage or something, you know. Get a massage, you know. So that's what it is with that. That's how I gotta go, and always gotta get it for the youth there. They're happy, I'm happy. The youth are happy. And I'm dancing the streets. They're happy, I'm happy. You know? That's what matters, I guess, at the end of the day. The youth, LOV to the youth, you know. Love the youth, and that's what it is, man, you know. Gotta get it on the love, man. And that's a big place here in Quebec. A lot of people go see that, and you know, I will to build some structure like that, but to the goddess, to the forgotten goddess temple, and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum on the Canadian-US border, the Pyramid House of the Dragon, to be scarlet crimson and red, and the Rainbow People's Palace, those four buildings. The Forgotten Goddess Temple first, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, to be 11 times bigger than the Caesars Superdome, where the hardball ball, aka blackout ball, was played, and the pyramid House of the Dragon, scarlet red, and the other one, the scarlet red, and the other one is the Rainbow People's Palace, where for my fellow neurodivergent community, fellow neurodivergent and fellow neurodivergents, and not just the neurodivergent community, but for my fellow LGBTQ plus community, being part of, androgynous bisexual here from my own neighborhood. Nothing that I will to come back, only for shopping, because there's some good places to get some affordable things, affordable things, so I gotta get doing. And so here I'm gonna cross on the other side. I got 17 seconds. If I cross there, it's gonna be a few seconds for that, and gonna cross on the other side. Gonna wait, get some of those 7 seconds, and take a little bit of sun. I'm gonna discuss the DRT. That's what we're gonna get doing with that. Get doing with that, and so we're gonna get doing on the XYZ, So, anyways, we gotta get it on the love, So I gotta get loving, man. Fellow senior citizens, I'm loving. Fellow senior citizens, I'm loving. That's what it is, And, give some charity, Yves Laurent helped build the Forgotten Goddess GODDSS temple. Forgotten Goddess temple. That's what I will to build, The North American People's Imperial Coliseum was. I go on the sunny day. It was a bit chilly, though. A bit chilly. Butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, always sending some of that love. And I don't know about that 51st state. It's on the 51st minute, 51 minute, but I do know we got to fuse. We got to get rid of the border. The king is absent. And Mr. Carney pledged allegiance to the King of England and his heirs, and I'm not voting for it, because I don't want to have a prime minister who's voting for the allegiance to the King of England and his heirs. It's for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, for that citizen there, that bus driver. I got his back here coast to coast. If there's ever an invasion, you can count on limb dick, clit dick. I got a clitoris penis, a 50-50 rainbow dragon, so big scar on it if you want to know. So that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing, So we gotta get on that love side of things, and those people who just passed, and all who come to join us, and the 40 million, we'll get it on the go with that. That's what we're gonna get doing, and get going for that. So that's what it's gonna be. And that's what we're gonna get on the drill, and gonna need a little bit of that crossing. I don't know, I just saw red, and I don't know about any of that. I know about the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, the DRT, Tetra Fusion Theory, the Democratic Fusion Theory, and the Trinity theories to be implemented via the fourth dimension, love. And I know the Dragonomic protocols, SSD, Security Service and Defense, SSD, Security Service and Defense protocols, the Security Service and Defense, SSD protocols, and gotta get it for that love, and be prudent here to pass, and we'll actually cross on the other side there. On that side? Yeah. There we go. Now, so that we can. So sometimes you can go different routes to get to the mountain. Hold on, give me a second until we cross on the other side. Then I can interject a little bit more. So get ready for the DRT. Just gonna park I'm gonna backpack the bread. I'm just gonna backpack the bread, and we're gonna rock and roll all the way to the mountain. And here we are. I got those red gloves inside, by the way. Red gloves inside the backpack, and that's where we're gonna go drill it with it, and we're gonna get it on the go. And it's about a few pounds now. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Dragonomy, sing me some cadence, marching bands cadence. Dragonomy cadence. Dragonomy cadence. Let's go. We're gonna sing those cadence afterwards, but now we're gonna discuss that DRT, debt refusion theory, and make sure we're gonna get back in business, and gonna get it on the go here, and that's what we're gonna get doing, you know, to get it on the love side of things. And the children there. I always say a new protocol before you put on a uniform for security, whether in the police or the armed forces for both Canada and the US, and I guess NATO, NORAD, NORAD, NATO. You know, NORAD is Canada, United States Joint Military Alliance, but can I put on a new protocol? You're gonna have to go change some diapers, you know, at least once, you know. If you can't change a diaper, then then you cannot carry lethal armed force, my brother or sister. So it's gonna be a changing of the diapers. Changing some diapers. And the protocol for before, it has to be part of the for the completion, I guess, ritual or not ritual really, but it's kind of a major, when I'm guessing, earning the uniform. But for the Dragonomy is, of course, motto is nobody's born a dragon. You become one, and it's of course the General War Integrated Total Body Training System. The General War Integrated Total Body Training System is a system, efficient, effective, simple system, which I have created, and which of course I have created, concocted back in, of course, 2019, when we gotta get going on the World War III scenario. So I have created and made it to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario back in the XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing on the go, you know. So it's always some protocols to be observed and implemented for the XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing on the love side of things, you know, because you gotta have some SSD and security, service, and defense, and security, service, and defense, security, service, and defense, you know. SSD, security, service, and defense is the main protocols and main base, fundamental philosophy. The acronym, say it 3 times: SSD, security, service, and defense. SSD, security, service, and defense. Security, service, and defense. And that's what it is. And even myself, you know, here sometimes is a Queen of Spades. Sometimes I'm a Queen of Spades here. Sometimes I'm a Queen of Spades and a King of Spades. Now you know my secrets. No need to spy on me. No need to spy on me. No need to spy on me. Like my BDSM switch. Gotta be 18 plus. Just ask. General Limb Dick, Click Dick. General War Integrated Total Body Training System. Gotta be on that LOV for the LOV, you know. And second chances, justice, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, redemption, rehabilitation. Let's get the North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act. Let's get that North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act. Let's get that North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act and start building those 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war. Put the incarcerated population, Canada, United States, on a Dragonomy, supervising of the creation of the legions, mobilizing 1% of the Canadian population, and this 51st Legion, or 63, because we got 13 political entities, 3 provinces, 3 territories, And my brothers, the 50 states, mobilizing 1% from existing and new established security apparatus. Police services, marshals, security, FBI, CIA, RCMP integrated, Canadian Armed Forces, United States Armed Forces, plus extra citizens for the Dragon Army, for security service and defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, for those principals to operate for a public-private partnership, asking for a septennium, split in twice, 3.5 years, to 3.5 years, to 2 sessions, 3.5 years. It starts with me today. Official date, I guess, could be 7th of April, whatever of April, 8th of April, 9th of April, 10th of April, all those special 93 holidays, and it could be July, it could be August, September 11th, whatever the case may be. We gotta get that rock and roll for the DRT, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, work out, train, exercise, work out, train, exercise, work out, train, exercise, and working out, train, exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice, and have been, am, and will continue to advocate for the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom creation, formation, pledge your allegiance, legions. How about those tariffs to go? Let's get those tariffs out of the way, create a common currency, common passport, and do a census, Great Canada, United States joint census, see all the population who's been living here, establish new cooperatives, and of course integrated supercomputer centers where we have monitoring and surveillance 24/7. I want to know everything that's coming in and out of Canada, United States, of the North American Collective, via the ports and the airports, via the ports and the airports, via the ports and the airports. I want to know every plane that lands, every port, every ship, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, monitoring supercomputers, building public-private partnership. Let's go, Bill Gates, and to have where citizens can go and can be directed towards volunteering, and volunteering to be credited some UEs, the new currency UE, which we're going to create by the implementation of my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory. Fundamentally is the only solution. So we're going to build these new megaplexes across the North American Collective, and where we build big centers where we have videos, telescreens, and where the highways of the North American Collective, fusion of Canada, United States, the North and the South fused for SSD, principal security service and defense, the Dragon Army, only for defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, only for security service and defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, SSD principles, and that's what we're gonna get doing with that. So officially I'm out of the vote. I'm officially changing for, gotta say, the Republic gotta be now. The Republic, you know, so that's what you gotta be doing with that, and that's what we gotta be doing on the go, you know, so it's something which we gotta be doing on the go for the love, you know, so the Dragon Army complex is gotta be to be good doing with that, and, you know, that's what we gotta be doing on the go to get it on the ghost lines, you know, so it's something which we gotta be thinking about it. And anyways, I like that, how it's done there, you know, look at that. It's kind of cute, I find. It's kind of cute, you know. It's kind of cute, you know. I don't know, just public embellishments. I like public embellishments. I find it kind of cute how it is. See, with the colors and all that, and by the implementation of my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, we're going to be able to do it. See how it's done? It's kind of nice. We need more. We need way more across the North American Collective embellishments like this with some color. And by my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, we're going to be able to do it. We're going to be able to do it to implement the DRT theory. So now I'm going to discuss the DRT theory, of course, because I am on the topic with that. So the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange unit. The universal exchange unit, we're going to need to get it on the go, because now we paid, of course, 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. That's how much we paid. 46.5 billion in interest only, in interest. So imagine that amount that I just said now. 46.5 billion in interest. Make note that a billion has 9 zeros. So the interest we paid on the public Canadian debt, and these are numbers which are, of course, out in the open. These numbers are not hidden. They're, of course, public information. And, of course, the number was 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion is the equivalent of 9 zeros each billion. That's 46,000 million. That is the amount for the public debt. The public debt. That is the public debt amount. So in 2020, 2021, the number was, of course, the number was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion. That was still 20,000 million. That number is huge, you know. That number is huge. And that number more than doubled. The interest paid on the public debt. Just the interest. Debt servicing, aka also known as the interest. Interest payments are known, of course, as debt servicing. It's more a fancy financial technical term to use for saying the interest, because the debt, the DEBT by itself is not really negative. It's the more interest you pay that can be harmful and can cause financial stress. Like I'm living in a financial stress, but I don't have credit cards. I have a line of credit. So I have a line of credit. I don't have credit cards. But nonetheless, on the public debt, the amount was 46.5 billion. So 46.5 billion, that amount, of course, is huge. So can you imagine that the number went from 20.3 double, 20.3 times 2. That's what it is with that, times 2. So times 2 would have been 40.6. 40.6, that would have been the double trouble. So that amount is so big that, of course, there's no solution but my DRT theory there. The debt refusion theory. So that is the amount which we're going to have to implement. I mean, because of the amount that we paid on the public debt, we have to implement my DRT, debt refusion theory, which is the only solution, or something which very similarly resembles my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, which is something which resembles my debt refusion theory, the DRT. Oh my goodness, are those radio towers in a parallel life? I know everything about supercomputers, microchips, 3G, 4G, 5G, and of course all the other satellite supercomputers, all about science, technology, and knowledge and wisdom dedicated to science and technology apparatus thereof. But in this life is geopolitics, and it's an Aspie. In that parallel life, I'm also an Asperger's. I also have an Aspie, so that I do know my geopolitics, and the birth of the DRT, debt refusion theory, comes from many years of being cursed with this neurodivergence, suffered struggle, lost employment, lost money, lost business, lost opportunity. But here I am, for me, for you, for us. Not just for me, because this is for us. And my theory, the DRT theory, or something which resembles it, has to be implemented. It's the only solution, or something similar. There's no other way around it, around where we are now, because the amount of interest has just more than doubled in 3 years. And yes, due to COVID. The COVID situation made it that the programs which had to be initiated and put in place to salvage the population were very, of course, financially based on the public finances to support, and that made it so. Not only, not ONLY, but mostly that's why. So basically, the DRT, which includes monetary integration theory, that is basically which of course we have to implement on that. So the DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the University Exchange Unit, is something which we gotta be implementing. I'm just gonna sing some rock and roll. Just we gotta paint it red, red, red. The king is absent. It's time for the Republic. It's time for the Canadian State Legion, integrated CIT, citizen integrated theory, integrated across all levels, coast to coast apparatus, ocean to ocean, and get rid of the border, implement a census, census, and that's why you gotta give some rock and roll, some LOV to our brothers and sisters who wear the uniform, and that's a nice looking apparatus machine. And now my brain goes to geopolitics, how we need more machines like this, mounted up, and do some drills on it, 300 like this, brand new, to be able to go coast to coast. And when I look at this machine, makes me of course think about the T, total mobile defense theory, my TM, total mobile defense theory, or the TMDS, total mobile defense theory, TM, total mobile defense theory, TM, total mobile defense theory system, which I've concocted over the past 7 years. And of course the total mobile defense theory I cannot discuss overly much. Part of the call for the implementation of Operation Northern Scorpio, Operation Northern Scorpio, and of course the total mobile defense theory system, the TMDS or the TMDTS, total TM mobile defense D theory TS system. The TMDT, total mobile defense theory, or the TMDTS is basically the same, but when it's a system theory, that is that the theory is applied. Total mobile defense theory, and when it's total mobile defense theory system is the putting it in action. So TMDT, total mobile defense theory, TMDT, total mobile defense theory, is just the theory. My defense theory, Canada, United States joint, for both Canada and US it's made. But when it's the S is added, that means that there's the layer of the action. But a marching like this, marching like this, taking the train, taking the plane, taking the train, taking the plane, taking the train, taking the plane, riding car, riding that defense beauty beast mobile. So that's when it's implemented. I cannot discuss it online. I cannot put it online because it's matters of national security. So only with my auntie Tulsi Gabbard, and Uncle Pete Hexed, which I'm not a Republican, but they're not my enemies. You're not my enemies. I wouldn't wanna. I hope you're not gonna make me your enemy either, because you're the true North, strong and free. Was born in the USA 3 times, served in 2 different wars, same US Army. So gotta get those sticks up that ass. Gotta get those sticks up that ass. Anywho, total mobile defense theory, cannot go into it too much because it's security, national security system sensitive. So just like I did in the past, because with CSIS, and that's all we gotta get doing on that CSIS, and that's all we gotta get doing for the love. And sometimes we just gotta be living for today, carpe diem it, every day, carpe diem it, every day, carpe diem it, every day, as we go here. And as I come to this, my second home, and always grateful, thankful, rent paid, electricity bills paid, and I gotta get back to the to the total, to the TRD, to the total, to the other theory, which we have to implement, the debt refusion theory, D debt R refusion T theory, the D debt R refusion T theory, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory is of course something which we gotta be implementing. So the debt refusion theory is the only solution, or something very similar, which resembles the DRT. The DRT has to be resembled because the amount of interest which we paid on the public debt has more than doubled. In 2020, 2021, it was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion double, been 40.6. So that number, of course, goes to now 46.5. So that's the number which we paid last year, 46.5 billion. That's the equivalent of 46,000 million. So the DRT includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union, and I gotta give a little bit of a little U-turn here because I'm getting on the very thirsty side, and that's all we gotta get doing on that, and so we gotta get doing on the XYZ, and that's all we gotta get doing for the lovebirds on the beautiful sunny day. We gotta go on that concentration, and that's all we gotta get seeing some of those people holding hands, which always gives me a little bit of hope to see some love. Somebody making love is not all about the money. Otherwise, what are we fighting to save for if somebody's not doing what they're doing now? Holding hands and kissing, and while we're putting on the uniform for, to do like that, and otherwise it's just not all about the money. You gotta have added things when you're doing life, and I gotta go get in on that civilizational part of things, and I gotta get doing on the lovebirds to getting on the love side. And when I get out of here, by the other side, I'm just gonna continue discussing the DRT, but now I really need to hydrate. And if you're into hockey here, you get the skates from Béliveau. See, Paris in French, where it says that Jean Béliveau, those are the skates, Jean Béliveau skates from 11th of February 1971. Jean Béliveau, when he marked his 500 goals. Jean Béliveau, 11th of February, and those are the skates there. So if you're into hockey history, those are the skates. If you like hockey, those are the skates for Jean Béliveau. Some things which we gotta be doing, and just came to hydrate a little bit here. Oh yeah, imagine the work to have this hydration here, to get it on the go like that. Oh yeah, I had to do a little bit of that hydration there, and I gotta thank the workers, public workers who build it. Thank you, whoever you are, for the building of that, and that's what we gotta get doing with that XYZ, and we gotta send some of that LOVE, and here we need to pay some of those benches, need to pay some of those benches here, by my DRT we're gonna be able to do it, that's what we're gonna be painting these benches by the implementation of my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange rate. And here we got on the skates. Got it for the skates. Well, it's not skating season because this rink was there, the skating rink was there, so that's all we gotta get doing on the XYZ, and that's all we gotta get on the love side of things, you know. So it's something which we gotta be implementing with that, and something which we gotta be saying and doing, and we gotta be on that go, you know. And here we got on the LYZ, and here we got it on the go, here we got it on the do, man. See, look. By the DRT, I would love to paint these benches here. I would love to paint these benches. I would love to paint these benches. I would love to paint these benches, you know. All these benches, just paint. Paint, and that's all we gotta get doing with that. That's what we gotta get doing with the XYZ, and that's all we gotta get on the XYZ, and that's all we gotta get on the loving side of things, and that's how we gotta get on that booty side for the doing some of those squats, and we gotta get it on the clap, and we gotta get it on the XYZ, we gotta get it on that left, right, and gotta get it for the XYZ, and on the toes, you know, we gotta get it for the XYZ, and here we gotta get it on that love, you know. So that's how we gotta get doing, you know. There we go. And now the benches need to be painted, and now I need to discuss the DRT theory, debt refusion theory, because I'm on it, and that's all we gotta get doing on the go, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing on the go. See, we gotta get it on the LOV side of things, you know, and that's what we have to be doing on the drills, you know. Basically, so what it is, the DRT, debt refusion theory, is the financial theory, which is gonna potentially, well, actually, from theory to implementation, is gonna save us from a public financial collapse. Because let's face it, we are on the verge of a public financial collapse. Canada is on the verge of a public financial collapse on the horizon, because the amount of interest paid on the public debt has more than doubled. It went from 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion. That number is double. That number has more than doubled. 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 So there's no way, since our GDP, of course, has not doubled. Just like an individual citizen whose interest payments more than double. Imagine a scenario where a citizen pays $156, paid $156 in 2021, and now last year had to pay 333, because 156 double is 312, so 333 is more than double. So if it goes from 156 to 333, 156 double is 312. So that's the equivalent and parallel financially on a smaller scale of how much the interest has been done. How much the interest has been done, how much the interest has been done, how much the interest payments have increased, in other words, which is a big, huge increase in the interest payments. So that citizen has to cut and reduce the spending, because most salaries have not doubled. The average salary increase has been 4.4%. So average salary increase has been 4.4%. Average salary increase has been 4.4%. So imagine 4.4%. That's far from double. Just the same on that GDP of Canada, the economic input and capacity production. The economy of Canada has not doubled. It increased, decreased, decreased over the past years during COVID. You know, it could even be say that kind of stay counterbalance kind of pretty much the same by 1%, 2% max plus the GDP. Not by, it has to be double, it has to be 100%. So it takes decades to double. While the interest payments have doubled, and yes, the main principal primary cause has been COVID, because COVID made the implementation of programs to sustain the population, right? During the beginning of COVID, since the lockdowns began in March, whatever. We got March and then April, and then there were lockdowns, and you know, there was waves and waves of COVID, and that's fundamentally where we are. I got triple vaxxed. I survived COVID. I had it. I really thought that was my last chapter. I said, oh, closing the chapter. In many ways, I did die. You know, I did die, and I think that I will to go back to. So, in many ways, I did die during COVID, and there's horses of the police. The police horses are there. I want to go see, I don't know if they're out now, but I went the other day, they were out, and now they seem to be out also. My vision, I have to check sometimes, because I get a little bit of that vision checking, so that is what it is with that. So on that vision checking, I think, so we gotta be implementing on the go, and gotta be implementing to do now, you know, and that's what we gotta get do some work, man. And I see the horses there, see, kind of maybe it did. Okay, I believe they are horses. I believe they're there present. I'm not gonna go now, but nonetheless, I'm not gonna go now, but I believe they're there, the horses. So that's what we gotta go doing with that. That's what we're gonna go doing with that. And so yours truly, there be on the horses, and that's how you're gonna go around about all the way to the top of mountain here, the three-peak mountain system known as the Mount Royal, the Belvedere. So rock and roll, sun is shining, and the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, is what we gotta implement. We paid last year 46.5 billion in interest. That amount is a staggering amount. It went from being 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion. You know, that's what it is with that, and that's what we gotta get doing with LOV here, you know, gotta get it on the left side of things, and gotta get implemented the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit. You know, that's what we gotta do on create. That's what we gotta do on create, and gotta get doing on the go with that. So something which we gotta be. Love you, two crows. Pledge your allegiance, to our family. Pledge your allegiance, to our family. Gotta get it for the love, you know. So we gotta get doing with that, and so we gotta get doing, you know. And sometimes we gotta get doing on the go, you know. And gotta get doing on that. Anyways, so now I'm gonna discuss, just focus on the debt refusion theory, because again, there's no other solution but it, or something similar. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000, and again, keep in mind that the DRT theory includes in it is integrated monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. In the European Union, indeed. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt. My 10,000 included. Yours, ours, yours, ours. We're gonna coast to coast convert it into US dollars because the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, national business. So we're gonna convert it all to the currency, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. So all the debt, public and private, all the debt, public and private, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. All the debt, public and private debt, all that debt, converted into US dollars. We're gonna take it all. All the debt, public and private, we're gonna convert it into US dollars, all of it. And that debt is gonna be the new money supply. So all the public private debt, all the public, be careful if you make fires here, eh? If you try to make fires there. All the public private debt, all the public private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. So all the debt, coast to coast, we're gonna add it with the United States dollar debt. Add it all up. And all that debt is gonna be the new money for a new central bank. Because in my DRT theory is integrated monetary integration theory again, as I said. And that theory is the monetary financial theory, which was implemented in the European Union. Right? In the European Union. Was implemented in the European Union. So all the debt, public and private debt, that's going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. The initial money supply for a new central bank is going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. All the public private debt is going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. We're going to set an interest rate level of 10% on that money. We're going to call it the UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange unit. The UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange unit is going to have a 10% interest rate. 10% interest rate. And that's 10%. We're gonna get it on the 10 percentile, you know. So all the debt, public and private, we're gonna create it into the monetary situation, and all the public and the private debt, we're gonna be the financial money supply. The money supply in circulation is gonna be all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt. All the money in circulation. That's gonna be all the public and the private debt. All the money in circulation. All of it. All the public private debt is gonna be the money in circulation. So that currency, that money, we're gonna rebuild the infrastructure of the North American Collective. We're gonna mass finance citizens to work out, to train, to exercise. We're gonna mass finance fitness. We're gonna build see the veins out there, kind of like stairs. Natural goddess, the mistress here. My second home made the stairs like that. We're gonna build 44 tunnels, build 44 tunnels, and build 44 tunnels across the North American Civilizational Collective for the continuity of the North American Civilizational Collective in case of a thermonuclear war. Feel good. And 44 tunnels, and build more hydroelectric dams, and constitute the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of my dream, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, the DGA Dancing Goddess Army, the North American Integrated Dance League for pleasure and purpose, It's environmental education and action to plant more trees and to clean the environment and the Dragon Army, the legions, the North American Integrated Legions for Security Service and Defense Principle, SSD principle, the Security Service and Defense Principle, the SSD Security Service and Defense Principle. And that's what we're gonna get doing with that, the SSD principle. SSD principle for security service and defense, and the SSD security service and SSD security service and defense principle. Security service and defense principle. We're gonna be implementing it, and that's how we're gonna get doing with that. That's how we're gonna get doing on that spiel, you know. Security service and defense. You know, so that's what we're gonna be. The SSD, security service and defense. Here atop the mountain. My second home will to be buried a third of me. Bury a third of me here on the mountain at the back, and a third of me sent in Papa Crowley, New Jersey, Hampton, a third of me, the city of the pyramids, the DRT, Dentral Fusion Theory, need be for the implementation, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE. With that money, we're gonna rebuild the infrastructure of North America, the bridges, the aqueducts, mass finance rebuilding of the infrastructure, collective mass finance, the building of the sewers, the complex, and finance citizens to work out, train, exercise, and tourism. There's a nice French poem here. Which discusses thunder. Thunder, Tanaya, thunder. And that's what it is with that. So that's what we're gonna be doing on the go, you know. So something which we gotta be on the mindful of that, so, to get it going on the LOV side of things, you know. So it's something which we gotta be on the love side, you know, to get it on that love side of the action, you know, because love has also got to be some action when you love, you know. So we got to implement the DRT financially. All the financial principles are there on the table, and there's no way out of this but my theory, or something which resembles fundamentally and in principle my theory mathematically, just because we're on the verge on the public financial collapse is on the horizon. It could happen this afternoon, a black swan event, which is a financial jargon term for saying that, well, it's a worst case scenario due to the fact that so much interest is paid on the debt today. That's just where we are today. It's just absurd. The absurd, and of course it's on the verge of a catastrophe, of a public financial collapse, because we're gonna have to cut. What are we gonna cut in the public? The healthcare, the sanitation workers, the RCMP, police, prisons. What are we gonna cut? What are we gonna reduce, brothers and sisters? We're gonna have to do some reductions. There's no way out of this but my theory, you know. There's just no way out of it. There's just no way at this point in time. There's just no way where we are now. There's just no way, you know. So that's just how it is. So I'm gonna switch a little bit to that French, because we're in La Belle Province now. So again, pledge your allegiance to our family. Sending some love to the truckers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, all those involved in the production, distribution of food, all those involved in the production, distribution of food. Some of that LOVE, rock and roll so that you can see, for the love and for the me, for the love and for the sea. Et voilà, on est rendu qu'on est sur la montagne. Québec comme Québécoise, il y a encore de la neige. Je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. Je célèbre Marc. 5 ans depuis que j'ai survécu la COVID, mais quand je viens ici, je me sens bien. Mais j'aime pas ça trop voir, tu sais, la paperasse, des cochonneries qui sont laissées dans la forêt. Il faut que vous mettez tout ça dans les vidanges, tu sais, puis on va faire un nettoyage, bien sûr, sur la montagne. Je vais contacter les amis de la montagne. Je contacte plusieurs fois, mais des fois, tu sais, c'est sûr que sont occupés, puis il n'y a pas de gens ou d'autres choses, des encombrements ou des choses, mais j'aimerais ça qu'on fasse bientôt un nettoyage avant l'été, un gros nettoyage du printemps avant l'été, parce que il y a bien des choses qu'il faudrait qu'on ramasse, puis dans la forêt. En tout cas, je commence avec la gratitude. Hey, savez-vous quoi? J'ai payé mon loyer hier. Hein? J'ai payé mon loyer hier. Je suis en stress financier. J'ai un stress financier, mais j'ai reçu 800$. Fait que j'ai payé, premièrement, j'ai payé mon loyer. On est le 2 avril aujourd'hui, le mercredi 2 avril. J'ai payé mon loyer. Puis, bien sûr, c'est quelque chose qu'il faut que je fasse dans l'histoire de, bien sûr, de l'affaire de la gratitude, bien sûr, qu'il y ait l'affaire de faire et bien sûr c'est aujourd'hui la gratitude que ça commence par bien sûr avoir payé mon loyer. C'est des temps difficiles moi-même, tu sais, mais je célèbre quand même, je suis joyeux jovial parce que j'ai survécu la COVID, puis je viens de voir des gens qui se donnent la main avec le sourire, un bon comportement. Je suis allé m'acheter j'ai pas fait vraiment d'achat, mais je me suis acheté quelque chose que j'avais besoin, là, du shampoing, ça avait les cheveux, là, du savon. Là. C'est pour l'hygiène des cheveux, là. Du savon pour les cheveux, là, dans d'autres mots. Là. shampoo. Je me suis acheté, là, puis c'était au Canada. J'ai checké que ça soit fait au Canada, là, mais bien sûr, là, aujourd'hui, on est en veille d'avoir d'autres tarifs. C'est quelque chose qu'il faudrait qu'on se trouve une solution parce que là, c'est grave. Puis, en géopolitique, vous savez que moi, j'ai l'Asperger, je suis autiste hautement fonctionnel, l'Asperger, mais j'ai des intérêts spéciaux qu'on appelle. Puis moi, les intérêts spéciaux, ça se tourne, c'est toujours autour de la géopolitique, l'entraînement physique que je préfère, puis le sport que je préfère, c'est la danse. Puis parallèlement, bien sûr, avec le sport et l'entraînement physique, c'est bien sûr le rock and roll. Fait que c'est toujours cette trinité qui se passe au quotidien, mes journées se passent du travail ou des études dans ces domaines, ces trois domaines. Mais avec l'Asperger, c'est juste que c'est pas une maladie mentale, encore une fois, mais c'est juste qu'on vit dans une condition où que notre cerveau il est différent. Fait que la constitution, comment notre cerveau il est fait, on a de la misère, de la difficulté dans certaines choses de la société, tu sais, des normes de la société, comme la distance personnelle, par exemple, tu sais, les deux, trois pieds là, de distance entre les gens, de distance entre les gens. Là. Ça, c'est des choses qui sont plus difficiles pour les autistes. Des fois, les Aspergers, comme moi-même, les Aspi, qu'on nous appelle, c'est bien sûr, on a de la misère dans certaines choses, ou qu'on a de la misère dans le savoir de la société, tu sais. Dans le savoir de la société. Fait que les choses comme l'espace personnel, ou quand parler, quand ne pas parler, c'est plus difficile. Fait que c'est ce contexte social qui nous empêche beaucoup, tu sais, dans le travail, avoir du travail à long terme, tout ça. J'ai bien de l'emploi, j'ai aimé durant la COVID, là, mais tu sais, c'est juste des difficultés que, ben, malheureusement, il y a beaucoup de problèmes à l'emploi et tout ça pour les Asperger. C'est que beaucoup de gens, c'est un signe, je pense, que c'est une maladie mentale, mais c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est juste que notre cerveau est différent. Fait que nous, le social, les choses d'interaction sociale, mettons la mode, tout ça, c'est des choses que notre cerveau, il y a de la misère à travailler sur ces choses-là parce que c'est comme, tu sais, un logiciel, la logistique d'un ordinateur, l'effort se dirige vers ses intérêts spéciaux la plupart du temps. Fait que c'est constamment la géopolitique, l'entraînement physique, le sport, la danse et le rock and roll. Fait que cette trinité d'intérêts, du travail dedans, j'en fais au quotidien. Fait que c'est sûr, je suis flexible, je peux faire d'autres choses, puis je peux faire des choses pour d'autres personnes, mais c'est des choses que je veux pour le plaisir puis pour le but, là, c'est pour le service. Je suis toujours là, je suis toujours quand même pour prêter service si on me le demande, puis je puisse le faire. Là, puis des fois, on peut sembler direct dans certaines choses, puis parce que c'est pas pour l'offenser, là, c'est pas pour offenser les gens, mais c'est juste que, comme je disais tantôt, tu sais, ces choses-là viennent plus difficiles pour nous. C'est plus difficile de gérer ces choses. Il faut toujours qu'on fasse une gestion, tu sais, comme bâtir des ponts avec les neurotypiques. Parce que moi, en tant que neurodivergent, mon cerveau est différent. Fait que je fais partie de cette minorité de personnes, de gens que c'est 0,44, c'est moins d'1%, c'est moins de 0,5%, c'est moins de 0,5%, c'est moins de 0,5%, c'est moins de 1%, c'est moins de 1%. c'est moins de 1%. Là. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de gens qui travaillent que leur cerveau est constitué pour ce travail de même. Mais je prends beaucoup de fierté dans la géopolitique. Encore une fois, j'ai prévu la situation actuelle. Hein. La situation qui se déroule en ce moment, là, je l'ai prévue en 2019, en octobre. Fait que dans mon travail de la géopolitique, en tant qu'analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, je prends beaucoup de fierté vis-à-vis ce travail de la géopolitique que j'en fais au quotidien, bien sûr, dans ce travail. Puis, bien sûr, c'est des choses, bien sûr, que j'en constitue pour faire le travail de la géopolitique dans ce domaine de la géopolitique pour en faire le travail de la géopolitique. Je suis un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, mais mes analyses et protocoles parallèles à mes initiatives sont fondamentalement pour le collectif de la civilisation de l'Amérique du Nord. Sont pour la civilisation du collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, sont fondamentalement pour le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, le collectif nord-américain, parce qu'on constitue, les Québécois et Québécoises, avec les États-Unis, bien sûr, avec le Canada, un collectif de civilisation. En tant que philosophe aussi, tu sais, en tant que philosophe, bien sûr, ça fait bien sûr une chose de philosophie. C'est bien sûr des choses qu'on fasse dans le sens que notre cerveau il est différent. Ben, parallèlement, qu'est-ce que je voulais dire, c'est que même si j'ai de la difficulté dans les interactions sociales, quand ça vient aux certains sujets, tels la géopolitique, ça fait que je suis comme un poisson dans l'eau, dans l'environnement. Je peux en discuter pendant des heures. Puis je prends beaucoup de fierté dans mon travail indépendant en géopolitique en tant qu'analyste et théoricien en géopolitique indépendant, qui encore une fois, j'ai prévu la situation actuelle en 2019. En octobre, en novembre, j'avais prévu qu'il y aura une conflagration internationale. Fait que j'avais fait de cette étude, bien sûr, que ça études principalement dans les choses, bien sûr, que ça fasse dans ce domaine de l'affaire, de l'histoire, bien sûr, de ce domaine de la géopolitique qui est tout un univers. Hein. La géopolitique, ça constitue beaucoup de différents niveaux. Là. La géopolitique, ça comprend la politique, l'économie, le social, l'armée, les conflits, l'histoire, la religion. Fait la géopolitique, ça prend beaucoup de choses. C'est pas juste une chose, la géopolitique. C'est tout un univers. Ça prend tout ce qu'il y a de la civilisation et même qu'est-ce qu'il y a juste la civilisation, puis même de la nature, tu sais, les choses environnementales. Là, mettons un pacte, là, une alliance de que la fasse dans l'histoire de l'alliance, bien sûr, qu'on fasse bien sûr dans l'alliance de la société, bien sûr que ça fait bien sûr dans cette histoire de l'affaire, bien sûr de l'histoire de l'affaire, bien sûr, de l'histoire de cette conflagration qui arrive aujourd'hui, dans cette conflagration, bien sûr, pour en faire, bien sûr, de cette conflagration qui arrive aujourd'hui, bien sûr, dans cette conflagration du monde hein, qu'on est rendu ici. Bien sûr, dans ce point de vue, ou que ça a fait dans ce point de vue de la conflagration internationale qu'on se dirige en ce moment, tu sais. Tu sais. Ouais. 25 ans. Chèque de... c'est beau, ça. Merci, bonjour. Hein. C'était ça. Ouais. But... Ouais. Quelque chose. 5 ans. Merci beaucoup. 500 piastres. En fait, du 15. Mon bidon, ça. Appel. I'm fucking dans ton. Allez-y à votre mon Charles. ça. Eh bien, fait qu'imaginez-vous dans ce sens, pour en faire dans ce sens de ce domaine de la géopolitique, bien sûr, c'est wow! Tu sais, des champignons pour s'en faire ici, pour en faire de l'affaire. Hein. C'est ça, hein? Et voilà. Donc, pour dire, bien sûr, que dans ce contexte de la géopolitique, je faisais des méditations, je pensais justement, moi, vous voyez, depuis 2019, je suis en mode de la géopolitique de la Troisième Guerre mondiale. Je suis comme mon style, mon mode en tant que citoyen, c'est toujours en constance vigilance pour que ça soit d'une convergence, d'une situation de Troisième Guerre mondiale. C'est possible, hein, parce que c'est possible que ça commence. Justement, aujourd'hui, ça a fait des révisions avec la géopolitique, avec le Taïwan puis la Chine. Tu sais, avec le Taïwan puis la Chine, ça fasse bien sûr le Taïwan puis la Chine qui ont fait. La Chine puis le Taïwan, ils ont des conflits qui n'ont pas été capables d'avoir été résolus depuis du 20e siècle. Du 20e siècle, tu sais. Fait que c'est des conflits, bien sûr, qui ont repris. Ces conflits ont repris. C'est ça que j'avais prévu, que ces conflits vont reprendre d'une manière plus ou moins intense, que ces conflits vont reprendre. Fait que bien sûr que c'est ça que j'ai prévu moi-même. Que ces conflits-là vont reprendre. Ces conflits qui n'ont pas eu de résolution vont reprendre dans le 20e siècle. Puis c'est ça, bien sûr, que ça a fait, que c'est des choses qui ont recommencé. Et bien sûr, c'est des choses qui se sont recommencées pour avoir aujourd'hui. Qui ont recommencé, puis c'est ça qui se passe en Russie puis l'Ukraine. C'est des conflits qui n'ont pas été capables d'avoir de résolution du 20e siècle. Du 20e siècle, tu sais. Du 20e siècle. C'est ça qui arrive aussi potentiellement avec la Chine puis le Taïwan, tu sais. C'est sur l'horizon, puis bien sûr avec un autre conflit en Israël et la Palestine, là. C'est des conflits qui n'ont pas eu de résolution. Ils n'ont pas eu de résolution, ces conflits-là du 20e siècle. C'est ça que j'avais prévu en grosse partie, tu sais. C'est sûr que mon analyse est plus intense, plus concentrée, parce c'est ça les Aspergers. On a une intensité, une concentration, puis on est tellement dedans ces choses-là. Fait que c'est constamment la géopolitique, s'il vous plaît, laissez pas ça de même. Ça, il faut que ça soit mis dans le recyclage, ça. Il faut que ça soit mis dans le recyclage, tu sais. Faut que ça soit mis dans le recyclage, Faut pas que ça soit laissé là, parce que on a de la flore, hein? On a de la faune, on essaie de préserver la nature. Fait que ça fait des années là, que je fais du bénévolat ici. Bon, de retour à la géopolitique, je suis pas juste artiste, athlète et philosophe, mais premièrement aussi un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, encore une fois, qui a prévu la situation actuelle qui se déroule en ce moment. Fait que moi, j'avais prévu la situation qui se déroule maintenant. Je l'avais prévu en 2019. c'est sûr que pas à chaque détail, là, pas avec chaque détail, chaque point vu dans le détail de même, mais d'une manière en général, là, généralement parlant, j'avais prévu qu'il y aurait une conflagration internationale. Conflagration internationale dans ce domaine de l'expertise, bien sûr que ça fasse de cette point de la comment la soirée, ça. C'est ça, parce que la prédiction s'est passée en 2019, là, c'est que j'avais prévu plusieurs niveaux d'interprétation de la géopolitique, mais fondamentalement, la cause en principe, c'était qu'à cause que des pays, des régions en géopolitique n'ont pas été capables de résoudre leur conflit du 20e siècle, là, qu'il y aura une conflagration internationale à cause que s'il n'y a pas eu de résolution pacifique. C'est ça qui s'est passé, comme ici, tu sais, je dis toujours qu'on a fait le grand compromis linguistique du français, bien sûr qu'on a fait le grand compromis linguistique du français, qu'on a fait pour avoir le maintien de la paix, tu sais. C'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'on avait fait de la maintenance. Ici, il faut que je fasse attention quand je descends moi-même, parce que ça a fait de la chose, de la géopolitique ici, que ça a fait, bien sûr, qu'on est en pente, fait qu'il faut que je sois moi-même, puis il faut que je sois moi-même dans cette constance d'avoir de la descente, descente en pente, fait que c'est ces choses qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même, tu sais. Fait que c'est dans ces choses-là qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même, dans ces choses de la géopolitique ici, là, tu sais. C'est comme ça qu'il faut que je fasse la descente tranquillement, parce que faut être prudent, fait que c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse dans cette constitution de l'environnement d'aujourd'hui. Puis c'est sûr que les tarifs, c'est comme un cauchemar là, avec les États-Unis. Il faut le dire. Il faut le dire dans la réalité en géopolitique, comment qu'on veut les émotions à part. Tout ça, les émotions, les sentiments, tout ça, je sais bien. Il y a des sentiments, il y a des émotions. Moi aussi, j'ai souffert, j'étais en dépression, j'ai survécu la COVID, j'ai été suicidaire. Nommez-les, puis j'en ai vécu de pas mal de choses moi-même. J'avais vécu tellement de choses, mais bon, dans la réalité géopolitique, mes chers, c'est que fondamentalement, notre intérêt principal, là, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations avec les États-Unis. Et c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations avec les États-Unis. C'est ça notre intérêt fondamental et principalement, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations possibles avec les États-Unis. Il n'y a pas de oui et non, c'est ça pour nous en tant que Québécois, Canadiens, Québécois. Fondamentalement, premièrement, là, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations possibles, militaires, politiques, économiques avec nos frères et sœurs aux États-Unis. Nos frères et sœurs aux États-Unis dans les 50 États. Puis depuis 2018, je fais appel à Donald Trump de me combattre dans un combat de boxe sur la frontière du Canada et des États-Unis. Sur la frontière canado-états-unienne, sur la frontière canado-états-unienne depuis 2018. Ça fait longtemps, là, mais je continue à faire appel. Je continue à faire appel pour qu'il combatte dans un combat de boxe, puis qu'on bâtit ensemble le Colisée du peuple impérial pour du sport 24/24, des événements sportifs que j'adore. La danse est mon sport préféré, mais qu'on va pouvoir faire. C'est des choses comme ça. Et je vais vous les montrer, cette roche-là. Ça ressemble à l'île de Montréal. D'en haut, là, tu sais, la map, si vous voyez l'île de Montréal, ça ressemble à ça. Puis c'est une roche qui ressemble à ça. Si tu voyais la roche, les deux même un peu les deux, la petite puis la grande, c'est comme le petit frère, grand frère des États-Unis, Canada, nous autres, puis le petit frère, le grand frère, comme le Canada et les États-Unis. On dirait qu'ils sont pareils comme, tu sais. Voyez-vous? Comme... Anyways. Juste pour le dire, là, ici, là, c'est comme ça que la petite roche là-dedans. Eh bien, c'est des choses comme ça qu'il faut qu'on fasse dans cet environnement, des procédures qu'on est rendu, bien sûr. Il faut rétablir les relations avec les États-Unis, puis principalement notre intérêt juste de la géopolitique réelle. L'arrêter en géopolitique, notre intérêt principal, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations possibles avec les États-Unis. D'océan à océan, l'Atlantique, le Pacifique, puis on constitue un collectif de civilisation ensemble avec les États-Unis. On n'est pas tout à fait divorcé de l'Occident, mais mais on a quand même des distinctions avec l'Occident. Avec les distinctions avec l'Occident, bien sûr. On a des distinctions avec l'Occident. Mais on est un collectif de civilisation de l'Amérique du Nord. Et bien sûr, ce collectif, on a fait le grand compromis linguistique du français, puis on continue à le faire. Mais c'est sûr que des fois, c'est plus difficile. On se donne des queues d'autres, on se donne de ci, on se donne de ça. Hein? Des fois, c'est pas tout à fait, bien sûr, facile. Ça prend du financement, l'entendre, puis ça prend un effort aussi. Hein? Parce que si moi, je ne fais pas l'effort de parler en français, ben, ou d'apprécier quand quelqu'un fait un effort aussi, tu sais, de le dire verbalement, merci, mais vous avez fait un effort, tu sais, j'apprécie quand même, tu sais. Ce qu'on sait pas, là, les gens, peut-être c'est difficile d'apprendre le français, plus pour des individus. Tu sais, on sait pas, des fois, il faut que s'ils font un effort, il faut les encourager d'une manière. Fait que ça prend l'individu aussi, là. En tant que moi, en tant que Québécois, Canadien, Américain, c'est chez nous ici, personnellement, je ne me considère pas un membre d'une diaspora, mais il faut que je fasse un effort pour accueillir tous ceux qui viennent nous rejoindre aussi. Le plus possible, ceux qui viennent nous rejoindre, nos frères et sœurs noirs aussi, tu sais, ils constituent 13,4% de la population, nos frères et sœurs noirs, mes voisins aussi. Il faut que je le fasse moi-même, tu sais. Si je le fais pas moi-même, tu sais, si je le fais pas moi-même, c'est des choses qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même dans cet environnement où qu'on est rendu aujourd'hui. Puis bien sûr, il faut qu'on se fusionne avec les États-Unis. Je sais pas du 50e État, là, mais il faut qu'on se fusionne, puis il faut qu'on crée un passeport commun, une monnaie commune, l'implémentation de matériel, puis il faut qu'on fasse un recensement, un grand recensement du collectif nord-américain, puis parce que pour la sécurité, puis la sécurité, là, du point de vue de la géopolitique, c'est mieux qu'on se concentre de côte à côte. Les ports et les aéroports, 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 bien sûr. C'est les ports et les aéroports. Les ports et les aéroports. Parce que du point de vue de la frontière, de l'autre bord, c'est une grosse frontière, mais c'est les aéroports et les ports en principe. Vous voyez le paradoxe? C'est pour ça qu'il faut qu'on fasse un recensement des populations qui ont vécu ici depuis 2020. Puis je célèbre, j'ai survécu la COVID. Je pensais que j'allais mourir. Hein? En 2020, là, je pensais que j'allais mourir. J'ai dit, ben, c'est mes derniers jours. Je pensais d'Atsar, c'est mon dernier chapitre et j'ai survécu la COVID. Puis je me suis fait vacciner 3 fois. Je garde les protocoles, bien sûr, les protocoles de la civilisation, les protocoles de l'hygiène en public. C'est quelque chose que j'y tiens, tu sais. La maintenance de ces protocoles, ben, c'est important, tu sais. C'est important pour moi-même, tu sais, ces protocoles d'avoir fait, tu sais. Ces protocoles de santé puis d'hygiène, bien sûr. C'est des choses de moi-même qu'il faut que je fasse. Moi-même, il faut que je le fasse, ces choses-là. Si moi-même, je le fais pas, là, comment me dire? Ça prend un effort par moi-même, ça prend un effort aussi pour le français, en tout cas, puis pour la sécurité, de côte à côte, d'océan à océan. Je m'inquiète un peu quand les chiens à poils longs passent parce que des fois ils s'approchent trop proche, puis j'éternue, hein, j'ai des réactions allergiques. Pas trop sévères, là, c'est juste que j'éternue. Achou, 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 achou. L'éternuement, je commence à éternuer, c'est pas vraiment pour que j'aille des allergies comme pour que j'aille à l'hôpital, là, quelque chose d'urgence, là, mais je sais pas parce que j'ai jamais vraiment embrassé, là, comme ça, je me tiens loin quand ils s'approchent, sauf les poodles. Fait que c'est la longueur du poil ou la largeur du poil que ça constitue, que ça fasse de cette manière, tu sais, que ça fasse de cette manière, juste pour le dire, c'est that's all, et puis c'est des choses comme ça, mais c'est pas de problème, là. T'as servi, t'es fermé. Ouais, mais c'est... Les... Anyways. Et c'est ça, mais là, je veux discuter bien sûr. Encore une fois, je prends beaucoup de fierté dans mon travail en géopolitique, et puis c'est bien sûr que j'avais prévu, bien sûr, moi-même. Tu sais, j'avais prévu moi-même aussi, là. Je vais juste regarder un peu ici, parce que je veux voir, là, parce que des fois, il y a des éperviers, puis je pense que j'avais vu un épervier qui passe, des éperviers qui passent, des éperviers qui passent, des éperviers qui passent de l'autre bord, mais c'est des choses, là. Des éperviers, c'est mon oiseau, hein. C'est l'oiseau que je préfère, c'est l'oiseau que je préfère. L'épervier, fait qu'il faut que ça fasse de l'autre bord, de l'épervier, ça passe de la gauche, de la droite, puis ça vole dans les airs. Puis là, tu sais, c'est des beaux oiseaux que j'adore, les éperviers. En anglais, c'est hawks. So. C'est ça que j'aime beaucoup, les éperviers. Bon. En tout cas, fait que là, jusqu'ici, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, tu sais, la théorie de la refusion de la dette. Fait que, c'est des choses qu'il faut que je voie moi-même. Hein. Oh yeah! Fait que dans ce contexte de la géopolitique qu'on est rendu aujourd'hui est réel, c'est qu'il faut qu'on accepte le fait que notre intérêt principalement, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations avec les États-Unis. Les États-Unis, c'est d'avoir les meilleures relations avec les États-Unis. Veux pas. C'est dans le meilleur de nos intérêts possibles. Puis enfin, il n'y a pas d'autres, on n'a pas d'autres entités politiques vraiment qui nous entourent. Fait que juste une manière dans la géographie, puis l'histoire, bien sûr, c'est des choses que moi-même, il faut que je fasse. C'est des choses que la méditation, c'est au quotidien de la géopolitique, et c'est des choses qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même dans cette histoire de la géopolitique. Et en étant analyste d'intelligence géopolitique qui a prévu la situation géopolitique en ce moment, c'est des choses qu'il faut que moi-même je passe pour dire qu'en vérité, principalement, il faut qu'on l'accepte, cette réalité géopolitique, il faut qu'on l'accepte. Sinon, on ne peut pas avancer dans des discussions. Pour des solutions vis-à-vis au tarif, là. Vis-à-vis au tarif, il faut qu'on accepte ça. OK, je sais bien, des initiatives à l'Europe, mais on a un océan. Il faut voir de la géopolitique réelle. Je sais bien, j'aimerais ça lui donner, comme on dit en bon québécois, un coup de poing dans la gueule, mais Je suis pas un républicain, loin de là, mais il faut se comprendre aussi nos frères et sœurs des États-Unis. Il faut comprendre que dans la géopolitique réelle, là, un pays souverain, là, il n'y a pas d'obligation d'avoir de l'import ou de l'export. Ça, c'est des choses abstraites, c'est des choses dans l'abstrait, dans la politique, des tarifs et tout ça, de l'isolation économique, le nationalisme économique, c'est quelque chose qui existe, qui a existé dans le passé. Fait que, vous comprenez qu'est-ce que je veux dire? Fait que, dans ce point de vue réel, c'est la solution, mais c'est que il faut qu'on fasse une fusion avec les États-Unis parce qu'il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Puis bien sûr, c'est la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, que je vais vous discuter maintenant parce que c'est la solution pour les finances publiques. Parce que moi, quand je fais appel à avoir un recensement, pour qu'on fasse un recensement ensemble, c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse pour avoir de l'harmonie, de l'harmonie de côte à côte, d'océan à océan. C'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse pour avoir de l'harmonie sociale, sociale, pour avoir de l'harmonie puis la renaissance ici de côte à côte, puis rebâtir l'infrastructure, puis rebâtir les ghettos du collectif de l'Amérique du Nord. Le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord. Le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, que ça soit, Fait que c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on voie, nous aussi, And, laissez passer. Et bien sûr, pour faire une convergence, je vais discuter de la théorie de la refusion de la dette parce que c'est important que je la discute, Bien sûr, c'est important que je la discute, C'est important que je la discute. Bien sûr, c'est important que je discute la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. La théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est quelque chose qu'il faut que je discute, Fait que la théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça sort de ma malédiction de vivre avec l'Asperger's, et bien sûr vivre avec l'autisme hautement fonctionnel. Ça fait que je suis différent. Fait que, encore une fois, notre cerveau est différent. Fait qu'en étant que notre cerveau est différent, on a de la difficulté dans certaines choses sociales, dans les communications sociales, et bien sûr dans ces communications sociales qu'on vit dans ce moment d'avoir de la neurodivergence, de cette complexité que notre cerveau est constitué d'une manière différente, et bien sûr que on a nos forces quand même dans cette constitution qu'on est rendu, bien sûr, aujourd'hui. La malédiction de l'Asperger's, ça fait que ça a donné que j'ai prévu la situation actuelle en géopolitique, puis que je mets sur la table la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, pour la création de l'unité d'échange universelle. Fait que là, vous devrez oublier que je suis monsieur, madame 50-50, androgène pansexuel, que je suis monsieur, madame androgène pansexuel, monsieur, madame androgène pansexuel, monsieur, madame androgène pansexuel, que je suis monsieur, madame. Il faut oublier toutes ces choses-là. Que j'ai des cicatrices, que j'ai survécu la COVID, que j'étais en dépression suicidaire, amnésie rétrograde, la perte de mémoire, la misère à me souvenir. Je retourne 9, 10, 11 ans, puis ça a comme un blackout là-dessus. Mais là, c'est la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, qu'il faut qu'on se concentre juste là-dessus. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est ma théorie pour la solution des finances. On est rendu aujourd'hui que l'année passée, on a payé 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique canadienne. 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique canadienne. 46,5 milliards. 46,5 milliards. 1 milliard, c'est 9 zéros. 9 zéros, 1 milliard, c'est 9 zéros. Fait que c'est 46 000 millions. 46 000 millions. C'est 46 000 millions, ça. 1 milliard, c'est 9 zéros. 1 milliard, c'est 9 zéros. C'est 1 milliard, c'est 1000 millions. C'est pas 100. C'est pas 8 zéros. C'est pas 7. C'est comme 1 million, c'est 6. 1 milliard, c'est 9. Là. On a payé 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique. Vous imaginez qu'on est à un point d'avoir une catastrophe, même un effondrement des finances publiques est sur l'horizon. C'est fort probable. C'est fort probable. C'est probablement une situation qui peut s'engendrer dès que ça commence dès aujourd'hui. Là. Sinon, dès demain, après les tarifs. Aujourd'hui, on appelle ça le jour de la libération, mais Il faut qu'on se libère, nous aussi, du roi Charles, de prêter allégeance au roi Charles, de prêter allégeance au roi Charles. Le roi est absent. C'est le temps pour la République, puis il faut qu'on se fusionne avec les États-Unis le plus possible. C'est sûr que j'y tiens valeur pour la santé publique. C'est sûr que j'y tiens valeur pour la santé publique, puis un partenariat public-privé, mon rêve, le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé, pour la création de l'unité d'échange universelle, un passeport commun, puis seulement pour la sécurité, pour la défense, le service, le principe de la sécurité, service et défense, SSD, service, sécurité, défense, service, sécurité, défense, pour le fondement des légions, prêter allégeance, légion des amis avec bénéfice seulement, prêter allégeance, les légions du dragon, prêter allégeance, légions des familles. 51 ou 63 les gens avec les États-Unis ensemble pour la sécurité, service et la défense de côte à côte. Puis la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, on a payé 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique. 46,5 milliards là, sur la dette publique. C'est un chiffre énorme. C'est un chiffre énorme. Un chiffre énorme, ça. Imaginez-vous que vous, mettons, vous avez payé, vous, ou quelqu'un, un citoyen, vous paye 156 $ qu'il a payé en 2020-2021 sur les cartes de crédit. Moi-même, j'ai pas de carte de crédit. J'ai une ligne de crédit. J'ai 10 000 $ de dette à la Banque Royale, puis je paye 10,44 % d'intérêt. Fait que si la personne, le citoyenne a payé en 2020-2021 156 $, puis là, l'année passée, c'était rendu à 333, ce qui est plus le double. C'est plus que double, ça, parce que 156 fois 2, c'est 312 en mathématiques. Donc, c'est ça qui est arrivé avec la dette publique. Ça fait qu'en 2020, 2021, le montant qu'on a payé sur la dette publique était de 20,3 milliards. 20,3 milliards fois 2, c'est 40,6 milliards. Fait que le chiffre était rendu l'année passée à 46,5 milliards. Fait que ça a plus que doublé en seulement 3 ans. Juste l'intérêt, là. L'intérêt, c'est ça le problème, c'est que notre l'économie canadienne n'a pas doublé, fait qu'on est avec d'avoir un possible effondrement. Un effondrement possible, c'est comme un citoyen, si l'intérêt double, que le salaire double, il faut que ça coupe dans le budget. Fait qu'il va falloir couper quelque chose. Qu'est-ce qu'on va couper? Les finances publiques. Dans les finances publiques, il va falloir qu'on coupe dans la police, la GRC, les prisons, la sanitation publique, ceux qui ramassent les compostages, les poubelles, dans la santé publique, dans la santé mentale. On n'a pas, vous comprenez? C'est les services publics, en d'autres mots, il va falloir qu'on coupe. Parce que la dette, l'intérêt sur la dette publique a plus que doublé en 3 ans. Oui, à cause de la COVID. C'est la COVID la première cause, mais pas la seule. C'est la COVID la première cause, mais pas la seule. Donc, il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, que je vous mets sur la table avec des milliards de bisous, puis des châteaux, puis des câlins, puis ben du rock'n'roll, puis de la danse. La théorie de la refusion de la dette. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Fait que la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, qui inclut en dentelle la théorie d'intégration monétaire. C'est qui est la théorie que les Européens ont fait de l'implémentation. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée. On n'a pas le choix, encore une fois, c'est faut faire l'implémentation d'une théorie qui ressemble à la mienne, sinon, il faut que ça ressemble fortement, parce que le principe, c'est qu'il y a un effondrement sur l'horizon des finances publiques. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, incluant mon 10 000, ton 10 000 de côte à côte, on va faire une refusion. Toute la dette publique-privée, on va faire la refusion dans l'argent des États-Unis. Fait que toute cette dette-là, la dette publique-privée, va être l'argent en circulation initiale. On va faire la création d'une nouvelle monnaie qu'on va appeler l'UI, qui va avoir la valeur du dollar des États-Unis. U, point unité, point échange ou point universel. U, point unité, point échange, point universel. U, point unité, point échange ou point universel. Le UI. Fait qu'on va convertir toute la dette publique-privée, incluant mon 10 000 du Canada de côte à côte. On va rajouter avec la dette des États-Unis. Avec cet argent-là, on va pouvoir rebâtir l'infrastructure du Québec, du Canada, bâtir plus de centrales de l'Hydro-Québec, bâtir plus de centrales, bâtir les 44 tunnels, construire 44. Le chiffre après 43, c'est avant 45, c'est 44 tunnels, inspirés par la montagne Cheyenne, puis le village souterrain de Montréal pour, dans le cas d'une guerre nucléaire, financer la construction publique, la reconstruction des ponts, rebâtir les ponts de l'Amérique du Nord, rebâtir l'infrastructure de l'Amérique du Nord, le collectif de Civilisation de l'Amérique du Nord, rebâtir les ponts, l'infrastructure. On va pouvoir financer les gens en fait l'entraînement physique, financer les gens au tourisme parce que ça fait du bien. Fait que la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Je suis toujours curieux comment ils ont fait pour bâtir ça, pour avoir l'eau ici. Imaginez-vous, c'est quand même des ingénieurs, tout ça, qui ont fait pour avoir l'eau potable. Là, ça a été un travail quand même, hein, parce que c'est sur la montagne. Fait que des fois, j'envisage comment ils ont bâti les tuyaux en bas, traverser la montagne, puis ils ont fait juste pour qu'ils se rendent ici, là. Je l'envisionne un peu. C'est sûr que j'étais pas sur place, là, mais ça a été les travailleurs publics, ça a été un méchant travail public, c'était des années 1920. Je pense 1920, là, mais... Ah, quand même quelque chose, si tu y penses, là. Mais, juste d'une manière pour avoir, tu sais, l'eau, pour avoir, ça a été bien fait du travail, tu sais. Ça a été bien fait du travail, puis ça a fait bien sûr des choses de l'affaire, de cette chose de principe, tu sais. Let's go. C'était toujours moi. C'était toujours moi. C'était toujours moi. Le terrible. Le terrible. Qui vient de l'Occident. C'était toujours moi. Le terrible. C'est tout. C'était toujours Panzer. It was always us. I'm free, man. Let's go. Let's go, 44 push-ups. That's the laugh of the free, the laugh of the brave. That's the laugh of the free and the brave. That's the laugh of the free and of the brave. Welcome to the 51st state. Welcome to the 51st. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the union. The king is absent and welcome to the 51st state. We welcome our brothers and sisters from Canada to the union. We will embrace and secure coast to coast, ocean to ocean. The King Charles is absent. You are now ready to pledge your allegiance to any king or his descendants. Let's go. That's the laugh of the free and of the brave. Let's go, push-ups. Welcome to the Dragon Army, the establishment of the 51 legions. That's the laugh of the free. That's the laugh of the brave. That's the laugh of the free. That's the laugh of the brave. Oh, are we the Dragon Army? The establishment of the Dragon Army and the 51 legions will take precedence from the established security apparatus which exists, and will proceed to secure coast to coast, ocean to ocean. That's the laugh of the free and of the brave. We're gonna go proceed to the push-ups in the back where the rocks are. Let's go, Dragon Army cadence. That's the laugh of the free, and that's the laugh of the brave. That's the laugh of the free, and the laugh of the brave. Dragon Army, who do we owe allegiance to? Nobody but the free, nobody but the brave. Dragon Army, who do I pledge allegiance to? Nobody but the free, nobody but the brave. We can be bought, we can be bought, and we can be bribed. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. General Limdig, Dick Lid. Name is General Cuckold. Rainbow Dragon. Call me CUCK, give me 10 push-ups. I already marched 4 hours today. This is the laughter of the brave. We ain't got no money in the pockets. All we got it is the freedom.
We're walking peacefully, sir.
I'm a sir and I'm a woman.
Respect it, okay?
I'm just going my own way.
I know, but you don't
In
need
the
to be
rock.
so loud.
I'm singing.
You don't have to. We don't have to hear you.
We're in the public sphere.
Exactly.
But my apologies.
We're in a public setting.
I got Asperger's. I have to be let known. I'll keep quiet until I'm in the... Huh? What did you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Gotta be make concessions. Yes, nicely. Dragonomic cadence, let's go. We're gonna go finish the push-ups in the back. Gotta go and left or right. So you know we out of sight. Some of my dragons be black. Some of my dragons be rainbow. Some of my dragons be black. Some of my dragons be rainbow. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are black. Dragonomic cadences. Establishment of the legions. Let's go. Dragonomy PPP calling for the establishment. Some of my dragons be black. Some of my dragons be black. Some of my dragons be white. None of my dragons are born a dragon. None of my dragons are born a dragon. All we got is our freedom. Bravery is not enough. Gotta get some love and duff. Gotta get some love and duff. For the brave and for the free. That is who are we. We are not gangsters. We are the Dragon Army. For the brave and for the free. For the farmers and the butchers. For the farmers and the butchers. For the bakers and the truckers. For the bakers and the truckers. For the daycare workers and the cleaning workers. With the clean and clean and clean and go. You know that I love to rock and roll. On the go and on the show. You know SP, that's the goal. You know SP, that's the roll. As I go for road to road. 44 push-ups. I think I did 5 over there. It's time to do them over here. Where are we gonna do them? Wait. Right there, I guess. In the mud, eh? On the rocks. On here. Let's go. Give me some of those push-ups. On the go and on the go. On the go and no more snow. Get it go, get it go, get it go. General, call me General Olympic, General Cuckold. Call me General Scarlet Woman sometimes. I'm a woman 50-50. When I say priestess, HNNH, gotta bust a dance move. When I say Rainbow Dragon General Cuckold, that's code for give me 11 push-ups or 11 squats, 11 hogs, do the workout training program system. Let's go, gotta rock and roll with that. And we gotta go for the XYZ. And we gotta go for the love. And we go, let's go for the love. Well, we're gonna go get it on here. Here we're gonna go put it. Let's go. We're gonna put it here, you know. Here we're gonna put it on here. I can do push-ups over here. You know what? If I can do, actually I'm gonna do hawks or maybe push-ups here. Let me see if I can do the push-ups right there. Right there. I guess this is gonna be a more different type of push-up. But is it possible? I do push-ups here. I guess, yeah. Yeah, it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's the laughter of the free and of the brave and of the loving. That's the laughter of the free, of the brave and of the loving. That's the laughter of the free, of the brave and of the loving. We're gonna mix it up. Actually, I'm just gonna do 44 push-ups. 44. Let's go. General Cuckold. Gotta get it on the go. Gotta get it on the no. Let's go. 11 more. Freiheit, ich bin in der Freiheit. Freiheit mit der Arbeit, Freiheit mit der Arbeit. Ich spiel ein weißes Wasser, ich spiel ein weißes Wasser. Nicht wie ein kleiner Putzer, ein kleiner Putzer. Ich will sie mit kleiner Putzer. Kleiner Putzer mischt ein Wasser mit ein weißer eine. Weißer, roter und ein schwarzer. Und ein mit dem weiter schwarzer. Mit ein Wasser, mit ein schwarzer. Mit ein weißer, mit ein roter, mit ein Schweizer. Was ist das war eins in Reisen? Ich spiel dann Gesundheit mit dem Sonne. Mit dem Sonne, mit dem Sonne. Mr. Rock'n'Roll. Rainbow Dragon Cuckold, let's go. That's gonna go with that. 22, let's go 11, we gotta get that 44. Whew. 33, let's go. Let's go, Dragon Army. We can be bought, we can be bribed. Some of my dragons are black, some of my dragons are white. All of my dragons and none are born a dragon, you become one. What's the motto of the Dragon Army? Nobody's born a dragon. You become one. That's some good. I really feel so good now. Sometimes my voice, I guess, like my fellow brothers or sisters, whatever. I'm 50-50. You get that Rainbow Dragon rock and roll priestess, not a hoe. Priestess, not a hoe. Priestess, not a hoe. Double trouble, Adrian Hanna Dragon. Keep my name out of your mouth. If it's not for a blessing, Otherwise there'll be pestilence. Otherwise there'll be pestilence. Otherwise there'll be pestilence. So you gotta go on the go, but it's a nasty. Sometimes I have to be told certain things, and I conceded. I said no problem. I'm just gonna stop and until I get to here where it is me and my mistress, Mother Nature, the wilderness. And I didn't realize I was being too loud. But when I rock and roll, do cadences, I'm a bit loud. But sometimes, you know, we gotta be told, and I don't no problem if I can help out anybody and make concessions. Just let me know, and to the best possible ideas. I don't like violence. I don't like violence. I do not like violence. I'm just intense, concentrated, and hyper vigilant because I was surprise attacked, you know, a few years ago, and I was called all sorts of names, and because Asperger's were often, you know, bullied. So I'm gonna play that defense. May I be avenged 11-fold. May I be avenged 11-fold. May I be avenged 11-fold. 11 more push-ups. Because we got 33. I'm gonna say we're gonna do 4 times 11, so 44. Let's go. Ready? Oh yeah. Whew. That felt good. Yeah, man. That's rock and roll. That's overtime, every time workout. Gonna head back to headquarters. Gotta get that S and gonna eat, and that's what we're gonna go do. And so we're gonna go do it. Let's build the forgotten goddess temple here. And here, the pyramid. House of the dragon. Scarlet, crimson, red, scarlet, crimson, red, red. Here, the pyramid, and there, the forgotten goddess temple. And right here at Mount Royal, construction workers gonna credit some kisses, and feet washing, kisses and massages. This has to be recycled. Recycled, don't leave trash here, so. That's it. Back to headquarters, got to go that eating and do some math. So here we can build the forgotten goddess temple. Forgotten goddess temple, le temple de la déesse oubliée. Puis la pyramide. The house of the dragon, the pyramid there. The pyramid. The pyramid. And that's how we're gonna go build it there. That's how we're gonna go build it with that. That's how we're gonna go build it with that. And there, the pyramid, house of the dragon. And that's what it is with that. House of the dragon, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing. Building the house of the dragon. That's how we're gonna go building there. The house of the dragon. And the pyramid, scarlet, crimson. Pyramid, house of the dragon. So it's finishing up, wrapping up towards the sun of my headquarters. Be careful here because the branches. So we're gonna go. Let's sing one cadence. Cadence. Dragonomy cadences. Property of the Dragonomy. Pledge your allegiance to our family. Property of the Dragonomy. Pledge your allegiance to our family. Pledge your allegiance, thou art family. Pledge your allegiance, Dar family, pledge your allegiance. 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 Dar family, and that's what I gotta get doing on that rock and roll, man. Let's go. Let's go. Pledge your allegiance. Dar family, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing on that bake, you know. So something which we gotta do on the go, you know. So it's something which we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing, you know. Let's go. Gotta get it on the go, gotta get it on the nose. So that's what we gotta get doing, you know. Let's go. Let's go as we go. Gotta get it for you know. Gotta get it for you know. For the free and for the brave. This also has to be for recycling, because a squirrel might go in. So if a squirrel goes in, you gotta get it on the squirrel side of things, and that's what it is with that. So it is on that squirrel side. You don't want to kill the chipmunk nor the squirrels. Let's go. Dragonomy cadence. Property of the Dragonomy, created live on Mount Royal by Limdick, Dicklit, Cuckold, greatest cuckold in the universe. Not married yet, but friends with benefits only. Consent, 18 plus. Let's go. For the farmers, for the butchers. For the farmers, for the butchers. Construction workers on the cranes. Construction workers on the cranes. Sometimes you just gotta hold the lane. Gotta give it up some pain. Gotta give it up some pain. Gotta get it left or right. Gotta get it out your sight. Gotta get it out your sight. Gotta get it out you lights. Out you lights. Out the lights. For the electricians and the plumbers. For the electricians and the plumbers. Cleaning workers. Those who are picking up the sanitation. We're not just brave and free. We're also a bit of loving. We're not just for the brave and for the free. Also for the loving. Where's the dragon that's the justice? Where the dragon that's the justice? Justice, so you know we hug it. Let's go. Some of my dragons are black. Some of my dragons are black. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are black. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are black. All of my dragons are dragons by birth. Nobody's born a dragon. What is the motto of the Dragonomy? What is the motto of the Dragonomy? Nobody is born a dragon, not even myself. Who am I? You are Rainbow Cuckold, General Cuckold, greatest cuckold in the universe. C-U-C-K when I say cucka. Because I'm a cuckold. That means that I got a tiny little big clit. Let's go. Push-ups, some push-ups. When I say push-ups, regardless that I'm a cuckold or not, I got a pussy or a cock. I gotta get it for the push-ups. Let's go. And I say push-ups, you do push-ups. General Rainbow Dragon, founder of the Dragonomy. Nobody's born a dragon. Here I become one, the dragon. Some of my dragons are black. Some of my dragons are white. Some of my dragons are black. Some of my dragons are white. All my dragons rainbow. All my dragons rainbow.